Hello everyone. Welcome to the channel The Formula for Success and Wealth, where you learn how to build assets and live wisely. The first habit of quietly wealthy individuals, as the title suggests, is discretion. They are so reserved that you probably wouldn't even notice if they were sitting next to you. Have you ever watched the science fiction and horror film They Live by John Carpenter? I saw it when I was younger, and it still gives me chills. The story follows a drifter, played by Roddy Piper, who discovers, through a pair of special sunglasses, that there are aliens disguised as humans living among us. By the way, don't just watch, join us. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. If you're serious about breaking free from financial illusions, this channel is your new reality. No one else can see them, only he can, thanks to those glasses. The rest of the film is a bit disturbing as he embarks on a violent journey. So, if you have children, it might not be the best choice for a family movie night. But the idea made me think, what if there were glasses capable of showing the true wealth of the people around us? What if we could see that the guy flaunting a luxurious Porsche actually has a negative net worth of $100,000 because everything is financed? And what if we discovered that the simple lady driving a 10-year-old Camry has $3 million saved, the result of discipline and investment? The way we perceive the world would certainly change. According to UBS's 2024 Global Wealth Report, nearly 22 million people in the US, approximately 1 in 15 Americans, had a net worth of over $1 million last year. So the next time you're in line at the supermarket, look around. Try to spot a silent millionaire. You'll realize it's not easy because they've mastered the art of discretion. The second habit of these quietly wealthy individuals is that, although they may seem quiet, they are always attentive. They observe, listen, and learn all the time. One of the biggest factors in building wealth is making good decisions, whether regarding spending, investments, or pitfalls to avoid. But good decisions don't come out of nowhere. They are the result of continuous study, having good sources of information, processing them correctly and applying them. These people, although they don't make a fuss about their success, money, or opinions, are dedicated students of the world around them. They consume quality content that broadens their vision and understanding. They read books, articles, delve into various topics, not just finance, but a wide range of subjects, because they know everything is interconnected. However, this doesn't mean they consume just anything. They avoid empty content, like gossip and purposeless controversies, because they understand that this only drains mental energy. They focus on what really matters. In short, they are lifelong learners because they know that in a constantly changing world, knowledge is power. Speaking of knowledge, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, MasterClass. I strongly believe that if we want to be the best, we need to learn continuously, and the best way to do that is by learning from those who have already made it. MasterClass offers thousands of engaging classes with big names in the market. For example, when it comes to creating good habits, no one is better than James Clear, author of the bestseller Atomic Habits, which has sold over 20 million copies. The book is excellent, but his class on MasterClass takes everything to a new level. He delves into concepts like improving 1% each day and the difference between goals and systems. But the most striking part is hearing him speak. He expands on nuances that the text doesn't convey and shares personal examples. In one of them, he mentions that he leaves his phone in another room until lunchtime to increase productivity. This small barrier helps him stay focused on what really matters. Although I already knew the idea, hearing James talk impacted me in a different way, to the point of making me leave my phone far away while producing this video. In summary, investing in knowledge is worth it, and MasterClass is a great choice to turn your goals into real achievements. The link with a 15% discount is in the description. Take advantage of it. Hold up. If you've made it this far, it's because you're not like most people. So do what most don't. Subscribe now and turn on the bell. This is where real financial transformation begins. Returning to the content, the third habit of quietly wealthy individuals is that their investments tend to seem boring. Yes, that's right. Their portfolios aren't filled with risky bets on trendy stocks or secret collections of 17th century art. They're also not overloaded with flashy cryptocurrencies. They prefer proven assets like stocks, real estate, or their own business. They use accounts with tax advantages such as 401k, Roth IRA, and HSAs because they know that every dollar saved in taxes is another dollar to invest. And why this seemingly boring strategy? Because these people have absolute clarity about why they invest. They're not seeking fame, admiration, or adrenaline. They want security and freedom. They invest to gain greater control over their lives. And since they're always learning, they know that this kind of dull investment is one of the most solid paths to achieving that goal. It won't impress anyone at parties. No one will turn their head because of a portfolio of 3 index funds. But what matters is that it works. And for them, that's enough. The fourth habit of quietly wealthy individuals still relates to investments. They are patient and consistent. They have an enormous capacity to wait, not for months, but for years and even decades. And they invest consistently, without deviating from the strategy. They don't get carried away by fads like cryptocurrencies, viral stocks, or currency speculation. They understand that these paths require not only a very specific set of skills, but also a good dose of luck. Precisely because they are patient, they are not in a hurry to get rich. They know how to wait, brick by brick, building a solid asset base. And this patience and consistency are not exclusive to the quietly wealthy. They are common traits among many truly successful people. Independence, stability, and the freedom to live according to their own values. Phil Knight, for example, founder of Nike, today one of the most well-known sports brands on the planet, started by selling shoes directly from the trunk of his car. He drove his green Plymouth Valiant to track meets and offered the shoes to the athletes present. For over a decade before the company went public, Phil worked quietly, with perseverance and consistency, developing his business one pair of shoes at a time. In modern times, qualities like patience and consistency are often set aside, seen as outdated. The priority today seems to be speed, staying on top of the latest technologies and trends. Although keeping up with changes is relevant, timeless principles like persistence and regularity are still much more valuable for those who want to build lasting wealth as quietly successful individuals do. Wikipedia. If you found this content valuable and want to continue learning how to build wealth intelligently, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. That way, you'll be the first to know when new videos are released. Also, don't forget to check out the link in the description to access MasterClass with a 15% discount and take your learning to the next level. They often choose careers perceived as dull, roles that don't draw attention at parties or impress with fancy titles. Yet these occupations frequently provide stability, predictable income, and lower risk. Precisely the foundations needed to steadily build wealth over time. Engineers, teachers, accountants, or small business owners might not have the glamour of trendy professions, but their paths allow for consistent saving, strategic investing, and long-term financial focus. In the book, The Millionaire Next Door, one of the most striking patterns among millionaire entrepreneurs was their presence in ordinary sectors: trailer park owners, rice farmers, auctioneers, asphalt contractors, industries considered far from glamorous. These individuals thrived because they weren't distracted by the latest business trends. They understood their competitive advantages, exercised patience, and didn't seek external validation. They created real value in less crowded markets. True success for the quietly wealthy lies in building a stable life with purpose. Even after achieving financial milestones, they remain discreet. Just as they don't flaunt their wealth, they also feel no urge to display their accomplishments. Their confidence comes from within. Back in 1954, psychologist Julian Rotter introduced the concept of locus of control. Those with an internal locus believe they have real influence over their lives and that their choices shape their outcomes. This sense of agency strengthens emotional stability, making them less reliant on outside approval. On the other hand, those with an external locus feel at the mercy of external forces, often overwhelmed by circumstances. Most quietly wealthy individuals fall into the first category. They know they steer their own path and have no need to prove themselves to others. Their inner certainty outweighs any desire to impress. This mindset extends to how they use social media. While they do stay connected online, they're selective about what they share. One benefit of social platforms is discovering lives previously out of reach. For instance, the channel Outdoor Boys features a father of 3 documenting his wilderness adventures in Alaska. For viewers unfamiliar with that lifestyle, it offers a fascinating glimpse into a different world. However, social media has also become a stage for overexposure, where excessive sharing can become uncomfortable or even harmful. The quietly rich avoid attracting unnecessary attention and protect themselves from the addictive nature of online approval, where likes and comments can become personal validation. They choose to safeguard their mental health and root their confidence in self-respect, not in the reactions of strangers. Ultimately, their motivation isn't fame or status, it's well-being. Success to them means peace of mind, freedom of choice, and a lifestyle aligned with personal values. Rather than chasing the spotlight, they seek the quiet contentment of a meaningful life. Financial freedom, strong relationships, and the power to use time on their own terms. These are their priorities. They don't crave society's approval or measure their worth by comparison. Instead, they focus on what truly matters: enjoying a hobby, spending time with loved ones, or simply living without the constant pressure of financial stress. In the end, they understand that real success isn't measured by applause, but by inner peace. Another key trait of these individuals is how strategically they handle spending. They don't avoid expenses out of fear. They understand that money is a tool to support the life they want. When something has genuine value, they spend wisely and sometimes boldly. Ramit Sethi, a respected voice in personal finance, has a phrase that captures this mindset: spend extravagantly on the things you love and cut ruthlessly on the things you don't. In an Instagram post, Ramit showed off a pair of shoes he purchased from Brunello Cucinelli, a high-end Italian brand. I'd never heard of it before, so I looked it up. A similar pair costs around $200, made from premium calfskin leather. Personally, I wouldn't spend that much on shoes right now. My $60 sneakers do the job. But what stood out was the product description: simple design, no flashy logos. Ramit didn't buy them to show off wealth, but for the quality, the design, and the brand's promise of lifetime repairs. Another interesting point about the quietly wealthy is how they embrace hobbies that others might consider boring. Take Lady Gaga, for example, one of the most iconic artists in the world, with over 170 million records sold. She once shared that one of her favorite hobbies is cooking, especially traditional Italian recipes from her family. In a post, she described spending an entire day preparing Christmas dinner, thinking of her relatives in the US and Italy while making handmade pasta, pesto lasagna, and lemon garlic fettuccine. Despite all her fame and success, she finds joy in something quiet and deeply personal, far from the spotlight. That's the point. Truly successful people enjoy what they love without turning everything into a performance. In the same spirit, these individuals also take a thoughtful approach to building relationships. They understand the importance of surrounding themselves with the right people and the cost of poor company. That's why they're deliberate about who stays in their inner circle. They seek relationships that add value, encourage growth, offer mentorship, or serve as positive examples. At the same time, they steer clear of gossip, drama, and draining connections. For them, it's not about the number of contacts, but the quality of the bonds. Speaking of connection, one of the greatest sources of well-being for these individuals is the strength of close relationships. Many people feel the need to show off achievements due to deep insecurities, often linked to the lack of meaningful, emotional bonds. Having someone to share life with, a partner, a true friend, or a supportive family member, is essential to a fulfilling existence. Deep, trustworthy relationships offer acceptance, love, and a sense of belonging, qualities that remove the need for external validation. That's why many of these individuals live so peacefully. They're surrounded by people who truly matter. And as I always say, there's no point in reaching the end of the road with a full bank account and an empty heart. True success lies in being able to share what you've built with those you love. If this message resonated with you and sparked the realization that it's possible to live well without proving anything to anyone, then now is the time to take the next step. So if this video helped you in any way, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And of course, share it with someone who might need to hear this right now. You could be the reason someone else changes their life. See you in the next video. Let's move forward together.